Hello everyone, welcome. Today on Ninja Exploration we're going to examine that Nerf bat CCP likes to swing at exploration and consider what we're going to do next. So first, let's backtrack a little bit. I've been pretty heavily involved with, Odyssey. Ever since they put the build up on CC, I've been, testing it. So quite honestly, Odyssey began for me like a month ago. And so I've been working on it, seeing how all the changes they keep on making to the system, with loot distribution, the changes to the overlay scanner and, the scanning system. But to be honest with you, I just never saw what happened on the 11th. I never saw that coming. It took me just by surprise, kind of, sucker punched me, and has just totally taken the sails out of exploration for me. It's like not enjoyable whatsoever now. What I'm specifically referring to is on the 11th, during that downtime, there was a patch, and they made it so that the relic and data sites, they changed the despawn mechanic. It used to be, if a can was successfully hacked, then over X amount of time, if there was no uncloaked ships on grid of that site, then it would despawn over a certain amount of time. Now they've changed it to all containers that contain loot must be hacked or destroyed for the site to despawn. This is not good at all. I know how some people might think it's good because they, if you're trying to play it safe, someone comes into local, you're like freaking out, you want to cloak up, but then it's like, shit, if you cloak up, the site's going to despawn and I'm not going to be able to hack that, 150 million IS can full of T2 salvage. I totally get that, but then on the other hand, it creates a wider issue that's just going to just screw things up royally. What I really loved about exploration with Odyssey is that the developers have really been encouraging efficient gameplay. They've seemed to really encourage efficient gameplay with the cargo scanning mechanic. They seem to imply that was intended gameplay and they weren't planning on changing that at all. And then they even went further and with the spew mechanic to make it so only certain types of loot spawn in certain type of containers. So, if you want to be efficient, use a cargo scanner and try to pick specific loot, then the game was going to enable that. So, from my perspective, they've been encouraging the player base to be efficient when it comes to these relic and data sites and not make it a huge time sink, to be able to, reduce that time sink so that you can get in, enjoy the content, and it not freaking take forever. I thought it was wonderful. That's what I enjoyed about exploration. It was a great change. But then, to change the despawn mechanics, they're really taking away those efficiencies, because now you're left with two options. Well, I guess your first option would be to just not change your playstyle before. So if you're being an efficient player, only hacking specific hands, getting specific loot, and you can continue that way. It's just that's not a very good situation, because now it creates this situation where there's just a whole bunch of sites that are partially ran that are not getting despawned. So on the bigger picture, if everyone's doing that, then all we're going to have are these unfinished sites that have been picked clean of the good rewards, and now everyone's just going to be scanning down shitty sites that don't have anything worthwhile left in them. So that's one option. Another option is that you take more time to despawn the site yourself by blowing up the cans you don't want to hack, and you hack the cans you obviously want to hack. But then you have to, burn 50 kilometers to each can in most of these sites, take the time to cycle your analyzer onto the can twice to blow it up. So, you're removing the efficiency there by despawning the site properly. But it's just, the problem I have with that is, they've been encouraging efficiency, and then to change a mechanic that pretty much forces you to be less efficient just drives me crazy. I mean, before, with the old despawn mechanics, I was easily pushing at least 150 mil per hour. But now, if I'm gonna be, I kind of feel obligated to despawn sites if I'm gonna be running them, because otherwise there's just gonna be shitty sites everywhere. No one's gonna get anything if we don't despawn the sites. But then that slows it down so much, because like most sites, I'm probably hacking 2 or 3 cans. I mean, if I have to burn 50 kilometers in 4 different directions to blow up 4 other cans, that's a significant amount of time that's tacked on to each site. So, I quite honestly, I don't like either of these options. I don't want to continue my previous playstyle and screw myself with everyone else at the same time by leaving unfinished sites. And I don't like option B of, despawning the sites myself. They both are not very appealing to me whatsoever. So, I think I'm just gonna, I'm gonna give up on the Relic and Dallas sites now. It's really no point anymore. And, it's not good. Not really sure what I'm gonna do next. I might go back to DED hunting. Thinking about maybe trying out remote rep Tengus for the first time, since they're pretty cheap and they get a badass tank for how cheap they are. It's pretty ridiculous. I also have Dami alts that are almost done cooking. So they're almost in a usable state, so I might try something with those. It's just, I really don't know what I want to do now. I was really, really happy with Exploration, and now they just had to nerf it to the ground. I just really don't know what to do next. I'm really hoping it doesn't stay this way. I really hope that they backpedal on this change and they change the despawn mechanic to something else. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Alright guys, I think that'll be it for this one. Have a good one.